Hello fellow Shadows, welcome back to another video. I am Phil, and today we're going to talk about the newest episode of The Bad Batch. So in the last episode we kind of saw that the Bad Batch was introduced with this alien that's kind of like a contractor, or contractor in terms of like giving them work. And so this creature, this alien, is in this episode again. And this time they need the Bad Batch to go out and find head to a tactical droid. Which, if you guys don't know what a tactical droid is, I'll make a jump cut so I can show you guys. Okay, so I don't know why Google just jumped on me like that, but this is our version of a tactical droid. This is what they look like. What tactical droids do is they gather up information, and the more information that they gather up, that makes them more dangerous. And the whole purpose of a tactical droid is to, maybe lose a few battles, but to learn from them, to ultimately be the most badass, or some of the most badass droids out there, and not lose. And so that's what a tactical droid is. So the Bad Batch goes to Corellia, because that's where the tactical droid head is at. And we see that they see the tactical droid, but then here we are seeing a person stealing the tactical head droid. Now Omega sees it. So there's this kind of like this little J/fight scene that happens. And it turns out the person who took the tactical head and their partner are the sisters that we saw in Clone Wars Season 7 that interacted with Ahsoka Tano. So I said to myself when I saw them, though, like, the boring parts of Season 7 has arrived. Not to say that their arc wasn't really interesting, because it was, but between the Bad Batch arc, their arc, and the Seas of Mandalore arc that led into the whole Order 66 arc for the Clone Wars, the whole sister arc was the boring one of like the 3-4 ones that we got from the last season. That's just my opinion. If you feel differently, great. If you feel the same, great. But that's just my opinion. The sister arc in the Clone Wars was the boring one. And so to kind of speed up, Wrecker gets hit in the same place as he bumped his head a few episodes ago. And then we hear him reciting, "Good soldiers follow orders." And we can, like, "Good soldiers follow orders." Like, and we can see him trying to resist the inhibitor chips. And I know that has been a fan theory since the episode, I think it was like episode 2, that his inhibitor chip could have been activated. I was open to that. I wasn't sure if that was exactly the case, because sometimes, people who make the shows like to give you a little misdirect, which is why I don't think I really mentioned it in my last few videos. And then we also hear a little bit later inside his voice, and Wrecker's head's voice, saying, "Good soldiers follow orders." And basically he snaps off and then beats the droids. And how the Bad Batch and the sisters gets out is that Tech and the sister that instantly became best friends with Ahsoka Tano in the Clone Wars rigged the head to make the droids shoot the droids that were shooting at the Bad Batch. And then they escape. And the sister said, we needed that head in order to defeat the Empire. And then Hunter, I believe, is the clone that's the leader. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry that I jump cut, but I believe it's Hunter who is the leader. He eventually before the episode ends, gives the the head to the tactical droid to the sisters. Then he just walks to his ship, to the Bad Batch ship. And then we see the Rava sister saying, we worked with clones. I thought you wanted to know that. And we see this like white figure. And then boom, credits happen. Now at first I didn't really catch that one of the sisters said put him on. So at first I immediately thought it was Ahsoka Tano. But I watched Star Wars Theory stream too while I was watching it, because Star Wars Theory had this watch party. And during this watch party, the Bad Batch, he did say that they did say he, not them or her. So Ahsoka Tano's out. So the only people that I can think of that they potentially will be talking to is Obi-Wan potentially, or Bail Organa. I'm trying to think of if there was any characters I can think of that had white clothing that could have been working for the rebellion or against the Empire at this time. I would say Leia, but at this point in time in the Star Wars universe, she's an infant. Because the Bad Batch, or she's a child. So that takes her, Luke, and I do believe Han out of the question. If they just said them, then I would have said Ahsoka and Mon Mothma probably, but it has to be a he. So Obi-Wan Kenobi and Bail Organa are the only two that I can at the moment think of. Unless, I'm just gonna go crazy right now, unless they're gonna make the Force Unleashed game canon in terms of like the story of the Force Unleashed game, and maybe do like Rom Coda, which I highly doubt would. I mean, they brought characters from the Legends back into canon, Grand Admiral Thrawn, so it wouldn't be surprising if they had like Starkiller or Grand General Coda being brought back into the canon. So I don't know. I guess next episode we will see. Next week we're going to see. I enjoyed the episode. It was a pretty interesting episode. I especially enjoyed seeing Wrecker fighting off the whole Order 66 bit. Like the whole good soldiers follow order. And if not in the next episode, because at least this season, I'm not sure if this Bad Batch show is going to have a season 2. But at least for this season, I have a feeling that we're going to... Well, I shouldn't say I have a feeling, but I think that we're going to see Wrecker turn on the Bad Batch. And I don't think they're going to kill him. Just simply knock him out. And that figure with the white clothing could have easily been Rex as well. And that's how they could have potentially, in the next episode, or in the episode, sometime in the season, come to Rex saying, yeah, two of our members, they turned on us. You didn't do Order 66, right? So, how did it get the whole inhibitor chip out of your head? There could be a whole episode getting, like, knocking Wrecker out, and Crosshair potentially, but Wrecker's, like, more likely, I feel. And maybe do this little heist sneak mission where they sneak into Camino. And I think it's Fives who... No, not Fives. It was Ahsoka getting that inhibitor chip out for Rex. And maybe this is the way they could do this little heist sneak mission where they break into Camino, the cloning facility in Camino, take the inhibitor chip out of not only Wrecker, but also Crosshair, and probably the two clones that was with Rex by the time we meet him in Rebels. And maybe that would be a two-parter. Maybe that would be the series finale, season finale, I don't know. And then they get out of Camino. It could easily be a 2-episode arc. Right in itself. I cannot see that being only a 1-episode wonder. Or if they're going to do it one episode, then they should do it an hour long, kind of like how they did it with the first episode. Have an hour long, and then so they can fit the whole arc in there. And that way, if they wanted to say, hey, yeah, we're going to chop this into 2 episodes, they can do that. So, that's just me. That's ultimately my theory. I did enjoy the show, episode. That was pretty decent. I honestly cannot wait until next week, based off this episode, because the episodes before this, I gotta admit, I was like, okay, about, with the exception of the first episode, because the first episode nailed it for me, but episodes that came after, I was like, okay, well, it was pretty decent. Like, I had trouble connecting to the show, and this episode, I really connected to the show. If that makes sense. So anyways, tell me what you guys think about the episode in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Be kind to one another. Have a wonderful day. Be careful out there. And I'll talk to you guys later. And may the force be with us all.